So greetings to the replay visitors. My name is Sanahara and I'm really excited to come this morning just to sing a song of the heart. Going to work through and bring through energy as it relates to our heart. Our heart. You know, for those who are new to energetics, we're not new to the importance and the significance of our heart. And oftentimes, for those of us who are familiar with energetics, we recognize that the heart in the middle is the hinge between the lower chakras, which are not lower, they're just below the heart, and those that are the upper. So the heart is kind of the middle. Well, not kind of, it is the middle. And for those who remember, well, how do we navigate life when a new life is born? When a new life is created, we tend to, not born, I wanted to say created. One of the first signs we look for is the heartbeat. If you've ever heard that in a sonogram, it is the first sound. It thrills the nurses and the doctors. It thrills the parents. That is the key sound. It begins at the beginning with that heart. And as we grow older, we oftentimes don't really give a lot of thought and credence to our heart, except when it's hurting, except when someone is touching it in a powerfully positive way or negative way. But oftentimes we aren't necessarily connecting into our heart, our center. And so this morning, I'm going to do a meditation simply on the sound, one of the sounds that we understand the heart to make. And that is the sound ah. So wherever you are and you're listening to this video, I would love for you to just take a moment and make that sound. Ah. And most of us think of ah almost like a relief, like ah. Things feel good with the ah. That sound has been related to the sound of the heart. The heart has other sounds as well. There are other sounds that come from our heart. And each of our hearts actually has a song, a story, a message for us. But we are usually distracted out there into the world, into everything going on, that we don't think about our heart, as I said, until something shows up and triggers that remembering, triggers that reconnecting. And usually it happens either because of being loved or being hurt, you know, so we understand that. So today, as we invite you, I'm inviting you into a listening, feeling relationship with your heart. And now for some people, this may sound scary as hell. It may be super duper scary. The idea of connecting with one's heart. However, what we find, it's not the connection with the heart. It is the things that are in the way of that connection to the heart. You see, when we are able to move past the thing back to the love, we still feel good. There is love there. The sun is still shining even when it's covered by clouds, right? So we can recognize the sun is still there, even when it's covered by clouds, that our heartbeat, the electrical impulse to our being, our heart is filled with what we call electromaticity. And this heart electricity, electrical impulse, firing from the atrium to the ventricle, is telling our body that it's alive. That is the life force, it's the spark. And that spark is connected as well to the nervous impulse that shifts throughout our entire bodies as well. So when we connect to the heart, we're going to the center. And in their hearts, believe it or not, in the energetics, there's a space where we call something our high heart. So there's the heart, and then there's the high heart. And as you come from not just going into your heart, but going into that special high heart place, there's messages there just for you. There's things in your heart that are just for you. A lot of us are scared of pain, and I love you too. There's a lot of us who have been hurt deeply and have not received proper acknowledgement for the pain that has been caused to us. And when you don't receive acknowledgement, when you don't move past that space of pain, what can end up happening is that which was soft and that which had the ability to be magnetics and electricity and even nerves. The heart has more, I'm going to get the numbers and I'm going to share it with you all, but I used to know the numbers, but the number of neurons that are activated from the heart, sending out impulses, the magnetic pull and attracting of the heart. We don't know this information because it hasn't been shared, and many may not have deemed it important. But I am here to tell you that having divine relationship with our heart is our birthright. We just have to tune into it. We have to align with it so that our heart can continue to pull us through those dark places. Now, it may not be your path to walk the path of deep, deep, great, compassionate love. I honor that it is a part of my walk. It's a part of my journey, even as a warrior woman. Even as a warrior woman, I acknowledge the power of my heart. In fact, it makes me, I believe, the most sacred type of warrior, one who has a commitment and a passion towards doing the high work, which means going into the low, dark places at times. And that's what happens, so I'm going to, like I said, I could continue to talk more about it, but, I hope that I am sparking a conversation or thought in your mind, in your spirit, about creating and deepening the relationship in your heart. And what you're going to find, as soon as you tap in, you may hear a name. You may have a memory. You may have a feeling. You may not quite know what to do with it, but just trust it. Go with it. See where it's going to take you. You might find restoration on the other side. You might find connection on the other side. Our heart really is trying to lead us back home. For me, my heart is trying to lead me back home. And back home meaning back into myself, back to my source. One of my favorite animals are bees, or insects or bees. I love honeybees. I love the honeybees and the story of the honeybee. And one of the stories that I've learned about with them is that because of the sound that they make, their hum is like om on the inside. And that sound means that they know who they are on the inside from their birth process of saying these songs and hearing these songs and fulfilling all the roles of their lives before they even go out into their lives. And then they discover the world and discover all the pollen and nectars that the plant life or the plant and mineral kingdom have to teach them that they've been experiencing since they were inside of their, hexagon shaped combs. So while they are there in their combs, they are hearing the Just like when we are in our mother's wombs, when we are in the womb, regardless of all the other things we are hearing a truth. We're hearing our mother's heartbeat. And that heartbeat is a truth. That heartbeat is an energy. It is a message. And it's activating. Now, there may be other feelings and other things that go on, and I can't say what each person's journey is going to be, why we're going through the things, but I know that there is a way through when we can reconnect to the power of our heart. So connecting, we're gonna do some sound with the bowls, and I'm going to do a lot with ah. You'll hear a lot of ah. And I'm also feeling some consonants on the outside of that ah, like ma, The hum brings connection between both sides of the brain hemisphere. Just the hum of the helps you to connect. So humming is powerful magic and powerful healing and sound healing. And you don't even realize it. You may know people who just hum all the time. They hum all the time. And that humming actually has a way of keeping you kind of copacetic, floating along. Copacetic, isn't that a great word? Floating along. And so we're going to do consonants on that. Ma, pa, ba, da, ha, la. All of those sounds hitting different parts of our neurons and all evoking places in our hearts. So I'm going to play now. Thank you for listening as I just shared a little bit about the power of the heart. There's more to say. In some ways, I would love to just do a talk on the power of the fire and attracting. The heart does both. I'll say this, and then I'll stop and go into the sound. The heart does this. The heart broadcasts out an energy. The heart is also receiving energy deeply. So this heart in out is about our knowing that we broadcast and we receive. And a lot of that is happening here. Divine detachment is important in that you're able to be the observer of the feeling, the observer of the thing. Oh, I see that. But that you begin to not be moved except by peace. And that is some high work. I'm working on that. I'm working to make peace my default. I still can sometimes get caught in the story and the waves of the energy. And so I move to anger, I move to sadness, but I move through them. That's the goal, to move through these energies. So I thank you all. Let's see. I got my big bowl here. And I don't know why I want to play in one of my bigger bowls, but I do. I got this baby here. This is one of my bowls, Nepalese bowls that my teacher brought back. And I'm feeling really like I want to play this today. So we're going to play this, this bowl. And yeah, this is what wants to be a part of today. So thank you so much for being with me. And we're going to work through a lot of sounds, a lot of ah sounds. And it's okay to go ah. It's okay to make sounds, especially in this space with me. So I thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Claudia. I appreciate you. ah. ah, 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 Namaste. Thank you for the gift of your presence and for your opening to your heart to hear the sound of heart, to know that sounds and things in our heart are for us to move through as we journey back to our source and our originating space of love. We move through as we acknowledge the truths that our heart is teaching us. Our heart is teaching us constantly. And as we listen to our brains, we have multiple brains. We have this knowledge. We have this knowledge. We have gut knowledge. We even have ovary and, we have knowledge in different parts of our body. So anyway, thank you for joining me. And I pray that you have a wonderful and fulfilling rest of your day. Blessings to you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. May you have all that you need.